Wolf, and my parents were on the flight of TWA Flight 128. Before I begin, I would like to thank Reverend Eldridge, Rabbi Wise, Representative Rockner, and Judge Executive Moore for being with us and supporting us today. Also, I'd like to thank everyone that's here today. It's very important for many of us, and it's greatly appreciated. Preparing for today's words, I must admit, has been quite difficult. While it is so important not to forget, remembering brings so many of those difficult memories flooding back. The memories of 50 years ago for me comes from the perspective of a 9-year-old boy. I was very excited for my parents to be coming home. They always returned home with nice gifts, and also my grandparents were making me go to bed an hour earlier than normal. But waiting turned into many phone calls and reports on television that there had been a plane crash. Of course, communication was very difficult back then, so there was a lot of confusion. But after seeing my father's photograph on the news the next day as one of the deceased, panic set in for me as I had finally realized what had just happened. People who were very close to this accident understand how much it runs throughout your life. I mean, just throughout your whole life. It determines some of the people you talk to, interact with, and then become friends with. It can determine what you talk about and what you think about. It comes in so often in your life, it's quite hard to explain, but sometimes it just comes out of nowhere. My father, Dr. Frederick Wolf, was 45 years old when he died. He was a loving son and big brother. He served in the Army during World War II. He was a successful doctor and investor who was in tremendous physical shape. He was a loving husband to my mother, but to myself and my 4 siblings, he was our dad, and his loss has touched us all very greatly. Although my mother survived the accident, she had injuries that she dealt with for the rest of her life. While she told me on numerous occasions she would never return back to the side of the crash, or to hell as she referred it, I will never forget the strength she showed when she came for the unveiling of the street marker several years ago. Special thanks to Mr. Hart, a fellow survivor, who she always found strength from. My mother died of cancer a few years ago, but I am thankful that she had the opportunity to see this memorial happen, as I know how important it was for her that those who perished be remembered. While my story is somewhat sad, I stand here today before you having moved forward in life. For me, this would not have been possible without the help of so many of my friends, some who are here today. Not only did my friends open the doors to their homes to me, but they, along with their families, opened their hearts to me as well. I will always be so grateful for their kindness. For me, the best way I have found to honor my father is by choosing a life that attempts to help make the community better. I have learned from all the help that I received that you can make a difference in a person's life, even with small acts of kindness. Anyone who ever questions whether a village can actually raise a child should just look in my direction for the answer. We are here today to remember and honor those we lost, but we are also here to celebrate what was accomplished so many years ago during such a hard and sad time. People decided to go on and rebuild the best they could, and this is a lesson we should all take from this accident. Even my mother proved that she had the strength to overcome what she faced. I must also mention my grandparents, Minnie and Maurice Hoffman, who bravely and selflessly stepped in to help raise my parents' 5 children. They are a big reason why there are several generations of descendants of my parents here today, including my brothers, Mark and Jeffrey, to honor and to continue to honor my parents' legacy. And finally, a big thank you to my wife, Natalie, and my 3 children, Freddie, Adam, and Sarah. Being part of a family means everything in the world to me. For the past 50 years, I have thought of my father every day. I wish all the survivors continued strength. Together, we stand strong. Thank you.